Welcome to another coffee with Bridget. And today's coffee is Razzleberry Pie by Slice, which is pie flavored coffees. And it smells amazing and it tastes incredible. I like the berry flavored coffees for some reason. It's really weird. They don't sound good when you think about it, but when you taste them, it's amazing. So, I wanted to talk about the psychology of crystals today. A lot of people are into working with crystals, and I think that is amazing. I've heard two different sources say that minerals were created first, and so they're closer to the essence of God. And I think that is a very powerful thought. And I think it gives everybody the invitation to work with crystals. But I really want to talk about the psychology of it. And I am thinking about writing a book called The Psychology of Magic and really getting into the nitty gritty of how magic works and why it works with the human psyche. So, to start off with, everybody knows that colors can trigger different feelings. Color therapy is a real thing. And that's one of the things that we work with when we work with crystals is the different colors. Now, the different colors are associated with the chakras in a lot of crystal books and crystal tradition. So clear quartz would be associated with the crown chakra, which is the top chakra. The red crystals would be associated with the root chakra. And now purple would be associated with the third eye chakra. And I've done green with the heart chakra. Lapis lazuli is also a third eye chakra stone. Each of these tie into a metaphor that we can actually connect with. It gives us a direct way to work with our chakras, which actually represent a body of knowledge. So, in essence, crystals are symbols that we are working with. And why do we want to work with symbols? The truth is, and so is tarot and oracle cards and anything like that, they're working with symbols. And the symbols works with the subconscious. The subconscious mind is what makes decisions for us based on experiments that have been done. And you can work with the subconscious mind. You can work with what you want to focus on. You can train the subconscious mind. It's not something that is talked a lot about. I don't think there's research done on it per se, but it is something that is possible. It's something that people who've been practicing different traditions like tarot, Kabbalah, alchemy, these are things that people have been doing for a long time. Meditation is teaching the subconscious mind. And symbolism in particular is very powerful when working with the subconscious mind because our subconscious mind thrives on symbols. It looks for pattern recognition. Humans in all aspects of life seek out patterns. It's one of the reasons why we have categories of people. We have the zodiac signs. We have the Myers-Briggs type indicator. Things like that that kind of organize our world. Now, there is such a thing as false pattern recognition. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's a little bit long. It's an obtuse word. But we can basically see patterns where they don't belong. So we have to be careful about that. But when we're working with crystals, what we're doing is we're creating a pattern to place it into our subconscious mind. We're planting a seed into our subconscious mind that will take root in our conscious mind with time. And that's where ritual comes in. Rhythm and repetition really help us to connect with and train our minds. You know, it's one of the reasons why meditation, you should sit down and meditate for 10 minutes a day. It doesn't matter what you meditate upon. You can meditate upon a crystal. It's one of my favorite things. Sit there and contemplate the crystal, the different facets, the different unique markings, the sparkles. It doesn't matter what you place the mind upon, which is what meditation means, is placing the mind upon, as long as you place it upon something. And slowly you'll start to hear your self-talk change. You'll hear the noise in your head will become quiet. You'll go from what they call monkey mind in Buddhism to a quiet mind, a tranquil mind. Sakyong Mipham, in his book Turning the Mind into an Alley, calls the mind wind horse. It's off and running and doing all kinds of things when you don't want it to. And one of the things that you can do is work with crystals to help train your mind to focus on what you want to focus on. That's why crystals are so great for being included on setting intentions. When you set an intention, you're planting, especially when you're working with symbols like crystals, you're planting a seed into your subconscious. I'm going to keep saying that, but basically your subconscious absorbs that information. And what your mind absorbs and focuses upon is what it sees. It's kind of like when you buy a new car, like we bought a Chevy Volt. The next thing you know, all you see are Chevy Volts on the street, when before you never even noticed the Chevy Volts. It's the same thing. When you start setting intentions, you start seeing the patterns that will emerge into what you want. You start doing things in a way that will get the results that you want. And the beautiful thing about crystals is oftentimes they work with subtle intentions, not physical material intentions like buying a car or anything like that, or finding a lover, although they can be used for those intentions if you want. They are more for like soft intentions, like cultivating love, cultivating gratitude, cultivating peace. I use cultivating because the mind is like a garden, and what we have in the garden is a result of the way we think. And using symbols and crystals and doing rituals is a way of reprogramming the mind, and is a tangible form. One of the things that I love to do is I love palm stones like this fluorite one. This is yellow purple fluorite, and you can, in times of need, take this out if it's in your pocket and hold it. I always have crystals with me. I always have them around me. I'm always kind of playing with them and fidgeting with them. They're a familiar, reassuring symbol that you can latch onto, that you can physically touch. And it's very important to involve your five senses. That's why one of the reasons in my rituals in the 13 Moons book, which I should have here, let me see it. Dropped another book, but the 13 Moons. In my book, the reason why I have smell, I have taste, I have vision, and I have touch. And that's because when you engage your five senses, you're using different parts of your brain. And those different parts start to work together and create a cohesive whole. So you're really working with your mind, with your psychology, to create the outcome that you want. You're training your mind. And it's not just that things magically happen. It's psychology at work when you work with your mind and you train it to be in a certain way and behave in a certain way. Now, you have to be careful in a little ways because we can get sucked into groupthink when it comes to these sorts of things. And groupthink is basically following what other people say. So I am kind of a rebel. I believe in doing your own thing. Make it your own. You know, just like the 13 Moons is a guidebook. I want people to create their own rituals. I give them a routine that they can do for a year. And then after that year, they can start changing things out. Or they can choose to change it out while the year's going on. For example, if they can't afford to buy the different teas every month, they can use chamomile tea for every month. So, engaging your senses, connecting with symbolism, helps you to reprogram your mind so you get the results that you want. So it's not like wind horse and it just takes you here and there. So that is the conversation that I wanted to have with you today. If you're interested in my book, The Science of Psychology, or Science of the Psychology of, I'm debating the name, Psychology of Magic, go ahead and drop that you're interested in the comments so I know to write that book. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.